Hi everyone, my name is Chidima. Welcome to another episode of Bird Talk with Raving. Today I have on the show with me someone very interesting, Solomon Buchi. Hi Solomon.
Yeah, hi Chidima. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure
Thank you
having
so
you
much for
around.
having
We're
me.
happy to have you around.
Yeah, when you said the word interesting, I was just like, what does that really mean?
Okay, should I say controversial?
No. Because I know interesting is very spicy. It can mean,
A lot of things.
Yeah, like.
Okay,
But anyway,
okay.
but thank you.
Yeah.
I look forward to having a very amazing time with you today.
Same here. I know that money, finances generally, and information are very, very important in every relationship. When it comes to money and how much someone has in terms of resources, investments, how much is too much information to share with your partner?
I think that the first thing is what kind of relationship is it? If it's a serious relationship, then you need to have serious conversations about money. So I think that if the relationship is actually geared towards marriage,
Yeah.
and that's actually the focus.
That's the plan.
Yeah, and that's the focus, then you need as much transparency as possible. Though I understand the restraint that some people actually have with sharing information like that, probably because they've been burnt before. But just because our experiences have actually been tainted by like bad things or bad experiences does not mean that the ideal thing should be
withholding information.
Exactly. It's very necessary for your partner to know all that about you.
So at what point in the relationship would it be okay to say, hey, I have XYZ amount of money in the Bahamas, I have an island, some property on the island, or I have stocks, I have a property in the abroad?
That's a very tricky question because every relationship actually has its own
dynamics,
timeline, and dynamics. So for some people, they probably might have been dating for 1 year, or maybe they've been in a talking stage for 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, Gen Zs now
Yes.
can do talking stages for 6
For
years.
6 years.
But anyway, I think that that's not a question that I can actually answer directly. I think that when you guys get to that place, you will know, but it takes a lot of intentionality. So I think that at the time where you feel comfortable and you feel that this person is actually worthy to be able to access this kind of information about you, then you share that information.
You remember, this information we're talking about is both good and bad, right? It's not just I have.
Yeah.
Also, maybe I'm in debt, right? What you're saying is irrespective of what it is.
Yeah.
You have to know where you are in the relationship.
Yeah, just like you said, talking about debt, right? If someone is actually owing, a lot of money or something, it only makes sense that you tell the person that you intend to spend forever with, so that they have the opportunity to choose you or not choose you.
Yeah.
The thing is that with everyone that we choose or we decide to settle with, there are some challenges and difficulties that we are deciding to also go with.
Yes.
Some bad habits
Yes.
that would work with, that we would, have to deal with. So bear it all on the table and leave it to them
To make their choices.
Exactly, to make the choice.
When it comes to responsibilities between people in a relationship, whether they're married or not, what's your opinion on how financial responsibilities should be handled? Some people say it's a man's world, let the man handle let him do everything. But what do you feel?
So thank you for asking me what I feel. Because it's about what I feel and what I think.
Yes.
And what I think is not absolute, because every relationship is dynamic. So there are relationships where the man actually, is saddled with the responsibility to provide everything and say, I'm going to do everything. And there are also relationships, especially right now, that, women are actually coming up economically.
Yes.
And they have to offer to in relationships.
Yes.
So for me personally, I think that when you guys get married, I'm talking about marriage right now, you become one, everything becomes ours. It's no longer mine. So it's a very simple thing. We bring our money together, and we pay or we deal with the home, bills,
Yeah.
the house
So are you saying
bills.
joint account kind of structure?
Yeah, you have a joint account and you also have your personal accounts, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So obviously, I don't know, but I want to believe that you have your personal accounts to get your salaries or whatever it is. And then when you get that, you know how much
A portion.
exactly. You know how much the expenditure for the month is, and you
Contribute a portion.
Yeah, exactly. You put it
individually.
into that place.
Okay. What about investments?
I think investments should be done together too. I think everything in marriage should be done together. I think it's beautiful to do everything together. That, at the end of the day, that's the essence of marriage, doing it together.
How do you think couples should build their financial wealth? I know that with marriage comes responsibilities, children, moving to a bigger apartment. In the mix of all of this, how do you think couples can be intentional about building their wealth?
Talking about how to build wealth as a couple, I think that the first thing is to have a vision.
Okay.
And when you have a vision, that vision will help you know the kind of lifestyle that you will live, right? So I think when you know what matters most, you would know how to prioritize. So let's say that in the next 5 years, you want to buy a house, or you want to get a mortgage, or you want to build whatever it is. So that will actually inform the kind of financial expenses that you actually, take yourself into. So I think it's all about financial discipline, and also marrying someone who is financially compatible with you. And I think that this is one thing that a lot of young people do not realize. Money does not actually break marriage.
That's controversial.
Yeah, but
because we've seen a lot of divorce cases that
it's not money, it's financial habits.
Okay. Get into that.
Yeah, it's not money. Money cannot break marriage because it's just money. Like if we have 1,000 naira notes here, it's just 1,000.
It's just money.
How does it actually? It's the perspective people have about money. It's their financial habits. So that's why you can see that there are couples who actually have enough money to take care of all of their bills
and still have
issues. And there are couples who don't even have so much and they are happier. So at the end of the day, you are not marrying the money, you are marrying their financial habits. It's just important to marry someone who has same financial or aligning financial perspective with you. In that way, it will actually help in the long run to build the life that you want.
My last question would be on black tax. As a single person, even as a married person, I know with marriage, from experience, it typically gets worse, right? But how do you plan to deal with it?
I think that black tax, that word actually has a negative connotation, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have a negative connotation. But when I look at my life, for example, where I am right now, a lot of people actually contributed to where I am right now. But one thing for sure is that I wasn't entitled, right? So I think with black tax, a lot of times there is that sense of entitlement and a sense of like it's an obligation for you to do this thing. So I think that as a family man right now, the first thing, even as a single person, to be honest, you need financial boundaries. I remember speaking to one of my friends. She's doing absolutely well, and she told me, Solomon, you need to have a budget for generosity.
Exactly.
You need to have that budget. When the money actually finishes, it's fine to say, no, I don't have. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to give yourself until you are depleted. So who will you now rely on rather?
Yes.
So I think that with black tax, I think God has actually blessed us with, great families, people who are understanding, who are hardworking. So we can only support them, but I think if it's coming from a place of entitlement, then that has to be addressed. Exactly. But when you love someone, when someone is family to you, you would want to help them, you want to support them. However, in marriage, the hierarchy is that I need to take care of my family before anyone else.
Yes.
It's simple. So if we have anything left, and obviously with the agreement of my wife, we can decide to give whatever we want to give to our family members.
It's been a wonderful conversation with you, Solomon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Idima.
I sincerely appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you.
So we've heard from Solomon, prioritize your family when it comes to your finances, and most importantly, have someone as your spouse who is very much aligned with you when it comes to your finances.